In a stationery store, pencils have one price and pens have another price. Two pencils and three pens together cost 78 cents, but three pencils and two pens together cost 72 cents. The question is, how much does one pencil cost? So in this problem, there are two unknown quantities. One of them is the cost of a pencil and the other is the cost of a pen. So let's assume that X is the cost of a single pencil. So X here is a variable which stands for that unknown cost which we have to determine. And let's say that Y is the cost of a single pen. We are given in this problem that two pencils and three pens together cost 78 cents. That is 2 times X plus 3 times Y is 78. We are also given that 3 pencils and 2 pens together cost 72 cents. So we are given that 3 times X plus 2 times Y is 72. And what we need to do is we need to find out the value of X. We can do that by solving this system of two linear equations in two unknowns. So these are two linear equations and there are two unknowns, X and Y. A standard way of solving this system of equations in two unknowns is to take one of the equations and solve for Y. So let's say we take the first equation. If 2x plus 3y is 78, then 3y would be 78 minus 2x. This means y would be 78 minus 2x divided by 3. So we have solved for y in the first equation. Let's say we number the equations as 1 and 2. We have solved for y in the first equation, and now we substitute this expression in place of y in the second equation. So if 3x plus 2y is 72, this means 3x plus twice of this expression, because y is 78 minus 2x divided by 3. So instead of y, if we substitute 78 minus 2x divided by 3, then this left hand side should be equal to 72. Now we have only one unknown here, which is the variable x, and we can solve for this equation. We can solve for x in this equation. So let's say we multiply the left hand side and the right hand side by 3 just to get this 3 out of the denominator. So multiplying the left hand side by 3, we get 9x plus twice of 78 minus 2x would be, on the right hand side we have 72 multiplied by 3. So what we are doing is we are multiplying this equation, multiplying both sides of this equation by 3. So opening up the brackets, we get 9x plus twice of 78, which is 156, minus 4x is equal to 72 times 3, which is 3 2s are 6, 3 7s are 21, so that's 216. This means 9x minus 4x, which is 5x, is 216 minus 156. So that turns out to be 60. So 5 times x is 60. This means x is 60 divided by 5, which is 12. So we have solved for x. The cost of a single pencil is 12 cents. Now it turns out that in this particular example, there is a slightly simpler way of solving for x. If you look at the left hand side of these two equations, you will find a certain symmetry. In the first equation, the coefficient of x is 2 and the coefficient of y is 3. In the second equation, the coefficients are the same, but they are swapped. So in such a scenario, what happens if you were to just add the two equations? So if you were to add equation 1 and equation 2, you would get 5x plus 5y is 78 plus 72, which is 150. This means 5 times x plus y is 150. So x plus y is 30. Similarly, if we were to subtract these two equations, so if we were to subtract the second equation from the first, on the left hand side we would have 2x minus 3x, which would be minus x, and 3y minus 2y, which would be plus y, would be equal to, on the right hand side we have 78 minus 72, that would be 6. So if you look at these two equations, x plus y is 30 and minus x plus y is 6. Let me write that down here. Minus x plus y is 6. Let's say I call this equation as 3, this equation as 4. You can see that we have simpler equations here. So it's much easier to solve for x from in these two equations than it is to solve for x based on the original equations. So if you want to solve for x here, again we just eliminate the variable y, and we can do that by subtracting the fourth equation from the third equation. So if you subtract the fourth equation from the third equation, you would get x plus y minus x plus y, x plus y minus x plus y would be, on the right hand side we have 30 minus 6, which is 24. This implies that x minus x, or 2x, and so we have plus y here and we have a minus y here, so the y's cancel out. So we are left with only 2x on the left hand side. 2x is equal to 24. This means x is 12. So the cost of a single pencil is 12 cents. We are not asked to find the cost of a single pen, but if we had to solve for y also, then that would be pretty straightforward, because if x plus y is 30 and if we know that x is 12, that means y would be 30 minus 12. That's 18 cents. So the cost of a single pencil is 12 cents and the cost of a single pen is 18 cents.